Hello everyone, welcome to the Azure DevOps Bootcamp. This is Lakshit Pan from Azure Developer Community and your host for today. And today it's the day two of the DevOps Bootcamp. And today we have Deeksha Sharma ma'am over the stage with us, and she'll be talking about source code management with Azure Repos specifically. Yesterday we has discussed about what is DevOps and how we can start building how the DevOps Azure DevOps portal looks like, what are the categories, what are the features in Azure DevOps, and how do you scale your applications using Azure DevOps. And today we'll talk about how you can manage your source code with Azure using Azure Repos. That's a kind of vertical that comes up with Azure DevOps. So we have Deeksha Sharma ma'am with us. She's a Microsoft certified trainer. She's DevOps consultant and has been doing a great work in the community. She's multi Microsoft Azure certified. She's also a Microsoft certified solution architect expert, and she'll be sharing her insights about Azure DevOps. So, not missing much more time, I'll quickly pass on the stage to Deeksha ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Lakshya, for setting up this one and giving a quick introduction. Hello everyone, and welcome to the session. As we are over here to in day two, talking about the Azure DevOps while talking how we can set up the repository and everything. So let me quickly share my screen so we can start.
Yeah, it's visible. It's there.
Yeah. So So let's talk about what is a source code management with Azure repository. And before that, what is the meaning of source code management? So in this session, we will talk about the fundamental concepts that you should know. Okay, and the architecture of Git also. And apart from that, okay, how your code management will work with the help of Azure DevOps, how Azure DevOps will play a key role over here. So, as I'll start with my introduction, as Lakshit already introduced me. So, I am myself Deeksha Sharma, and I am Microsoft certified trainer. Also, I am a senior consultant on the cloud architect, and I am a certified data engineer, DevOps engineer. So, if we talk about in this agenda for this one is here we will talk about what is the version control meaning, okay, and how you can what is Git first of all, how you can configure Git repository in the Azure repository, okay, and how you can create manage branches, and you can perform some basic Git operations over here, and you can perform some certain tasks. So we'll see, okay, on DevOps portal as well, and also we will try to understand the concept also. So if we start first of all, what is the meaning of version control and what are the different type it is? So first of all, what is the meaning of version control? So see, like in every time to time manner, you can see like iPhone will launch a new variant, okay, like iPhone 11, then iPhone 12, okay, iPhone mini. So in that case here, every iPhone version is coming up with some additional feature, okay, or they are adding or improvising their existing code, okay. So in that case here, already the existing code is there, but on top of that they have done some piece of code or some piece of additional feature they have added. Similar way, if any user that you have, okay, so in like for example, first of all, in a project, okay, there could be different developer are available who is going to work. So here for example, you have a developer 1, then you have a developer 2, okay, and you have a developer 3. So in that case, every developer are going to complete their task. For that, maybe they are going to write down some piece of code. Okay, they are for example, today is 23 May. So 23 May, developer 1 has completed his task, and then developer 2 has completed, and developer 3. Now later on, they are putting their code maybe into a code management tool, or maybe sending this code to code manager. So in that case here, to manage all this code by all the multiple developer by a person, it will be difficult, okay. Like for example, I'm a team lead, and within my team there are a 10 different developer who is completing their task, and they are sending this task or code to me on daily basis. So in that case, it will be difficult for me to understand that, okay, which developer is working on what task. And later on, okay, if the particular developer will come to me and they say, okay, hey, I want to see that, okay, what code I have written down on 10th May. So it will be difficult for me to keep a track. So as a person, it will be very hard to maintain all the history of the code, okay, to maintain or to manage all the code. So that's why we have some code management tools are available in the market that we will use to manage your code, where all the developer can come together, okay, and put their code in one single centralized location. Okay, so it could be your developer in the same location, or it could be your developer will be in the different location. Like for example, within my team there could be 10 different developer, two developer in the France, and five developer in India, and rest of the developer from UK. So in that case here, no need to be available in the same location. All the developer can access that code management tool any location, and then put there into the centralized repository that can be accessible at any time from anywhere. So on that basis here, we are going to understand that, okay, now here all the developer are putting their code, okay, in one single centralized location. So now how the code is going to be managed, okay, and how each other developer is going to be accessed over here. So for that we have a like a version control concept also available. Like see, for example, today on 23 May, okay, you have write it down some one to for example 100 line of code. So in that case, now next day when you are going to become, so you are not going to start writing the code again from 1 to 100, right? So you already have the code. So in that case, you will start writing the code from 101, right? On 23 May, if you have write it down code 1 to 100 line, so the next day you will start writing code from 101. Okay, so in that case here, every day whatever code you are maintaining, and every time when you are going to save, it is going to maintain one version of your copy. So in that case, whatever code you have write it down, on that case you have a particular version or the copy of your code is available, that you can access it or you can keep a track also. And why we need this? For example, in this week I have started and I write it down some code on 23 May, and then on 24 May I have done some additional work. Then on 25th May also I'm keep updating my code, and I write it down 100 line or 1000 line of code. Now later on, I realized, okay, whatever code I write it down for this week, that is not up to date, or maybe we don't have like all the approved solution on that case. So that's why I need to go back to the previous code. Okay, what I was writing or using the previous week. So it will be difficult for me to maintain the different copies every time of the code, or maybe to understand what code I have written on the previous week. So that's why here we will maintain different copies of your code that we are going to refer as a version. Okay, so now we have a different type of versions available. So before that, let me take the help of a pen where I can explain you in more better way. Yeah. So see, for example, you have created one file, and inside that you have write it down the code. Okay, for 1 to 100 line of code you have write it down, and you save that as a version 1. So in that case, now this will be your, for example, HTML file. Okay, something like that. I am putting that as a index.html. Now here, once we are going to save, it is going to be create your version 1. Like on 23rd May, we have write down some code from first to 100. Okay. Then on 23rd May, this is going to be work as your version 1. Then later on, next day you come and you started writing it over here from 101. You will not started writing down from scratch because previous code is already there. And now in this case here you have write it down, for example, 250 lines. Okay, now you have 250 lines of code are working, and that is for you, you have tested how it's working. Now it is going to be stored on save on 24th May, right? And that will be your version 2. Okay, so I'm not maintaining different copies over here, although I'm maintaining different version, and it will be also in the form of snapshots, so it will not consume much space. Okay, so that will be your second. Okay, version 2 will be created in this case. Similar way over here. Okay, now next day I come, I'll start writing down code from 251 line, and then it will be going up to 400. So in that case here, you can see here we have on the 25th May, we have a version 3. Now for example, whatever code I have write it down on version like this is the same file. Okay, it will not create a different file, but within same file it will create different version. So in that case we can keep a track that, okay, from version 1 to version 3 what are the changes has done. And for example, on 25th, whatever you write it down, and on 26th, you got to know from your project that, okay, the particular solution that you are approaching, that is not acceptable, or maybe that is not approved solution. So you need to modify your code, but you know that whatever code you have write down initially, that is pointing out your version 1, that is correct. So you can go to the version 1 and you can take the previous copy of your code. That will be helpful. Okay, that yes, it's initial code we have, and we can see what are the changes we have done. and on that basis we can keep a track what are the changes has done. So in that case, here in future if we want to go for the previous history or we want to take the previous code, that also we can take it. Okay, although file is same, but yes, here we have a different versions available. That will be helpful to keep a track that way what are the changes you have done so far. So that is first of all your version, and after that what are the different version control tools you have available. So again, if we go back to your PPT, now we have a three different type of version control systems are available. So first of all, here you have a DVCS and CVCS. That is a major one. And apart from that, you have a local version control also. So we'll see what are the differences over here is. So version control is basically to record the changes, what has done. Over a period of time, what are the changes has done, that is going to be recorded. So here, these are the three different type of version control you have: local version control, centralized version control, and distributed version control. Now, what does this mean of these three? So let's have a look in detail about this. Local version control. So if you see here, we are going to maintain the local copy. Okay, if I again go to your paint. So see, for example, here we have a particular one, your machine. Okay, here you have a particular machine, and within that machine, developer is going to be accessed, and this is going to be maintain all the history and everything under this particular machine only. So locally we are maintaining the versions over here. Okay, in this case we are going to maintain the locally all the version that will be required. So here we are going to refer as a local version control. Okay, now you, this is your developer one. Now, for example, here I don't want to maintain locally because see, if my laptop went down or maybe my laptop got corrupted, I lost whole data. Okay, if I'm not able to access my laptop or if I'm not able to access my machine, I'm not able to access my data, right? Or maybe I'm not able to access the code. So I'll stuck on that case. So generally, that's why we'll not maintain all the copy of your code locally only. So we'll put into the centralized location. So that's why now another you have is the CVCS. Okay, so let me like this way. First of all, you have a code management where you are going to maintain the versions. And then this version control has been divided into three areas. So you have a local version control, you have a CVCS, and you have a DVCS. So here it is going to belongs to your local version control. And it belongs to centralized version control. And it belongs to distributed version control. Okay. Now these are the three different type we have, and what will be the difference over here is, so in this case, if you see, like the local one, we are going to maintain entire copy locally in your machine itself. Now here in the centralized version control, we have a one centralized location. Okay, central repo, you can say. So here we have a CVCS, that is you have a central repo. Okay, and within this central repository, you are going to maintain the code, not in the local one this time. Okay, now here instead of this, we are going to maintain, you are going, like if you have a two developer, all the developer are going to maintain their code into centralized repository. That will be under the CVCS. Okay, under the CVCS, all the developer will be maintain their code into centralized repository. So here we are not relying in our own machine. Okay, if your machine went down, still we are maintaining the data or maybe code into centralized location. So in that case here, at any time all the developer can access. But here is a check. Okay, like if your centralized repository itself went down, okay, for example, your centralized repository itself went down, then you lost whole data. Okay, because you are not maintaining any copy locally over here. So over here in the centralized repository side, if you lose your entire repository, if you lose your central repo itself, then in that case you lost whole data. So that's why here we will move to the next one, that will be your DVCS. Now what will be happen in the DVCS? Yeah, so in DVCS here you can see there will be one local copy also we are going to maintain. Okay, so DVCS is basically a combination of CVCS and LVCS. Okay, so inside this one here it is going to maintain your local copy of the data. Okay, so yeah, so here you can see this is your developer 1. Okay, developer 2. Now here you can see developer 1 is going to maintain local copy, and also developer 2 is also going to maintain the local copy. Right, so now here you can see we have a distributed manner, because see what happened in the centralized version control is if your central repository went down, okay, and you lost the connectivity over the internet, then in that case you lost the data, okay, that you have available in the centralized repository. And then another use case is like you, if you need to connect with your data that is available in your central repository, you have to be connected with the internet. Okay, if you are not in that network area, then obviously you are not able to send or maybe put your code into the central repository. So you always need to be connected with the internet. You cannot work in the offline mode. Okay, so in the central repository you need to be connected always with the internet. But here if you go with the DVCS, it's not necessary that you are always connecting with the internet. So as you are maintaining your copies locally also, okay, and you are maintaining the central location also, so if you are not in the internet connection, you can put the code into the local repository, and once you are in the internet area, you can push that code into the central repository. Okay, so you are maintaining your copy of code in the distributed manner. Okay, you are going to maintain a local copy in your machine also, as well as you are going to maintain copy in the centralized repository also. Similar way another developer also, like for example, if the central repository went down, again in the same over here, so in that case here still you have copy available over here and you have copy available over here. Similar way, if you have a one copy went down in your own machine, still you can access it from here, or you can take it from your colleague as well. So the advantage of this one is here you are going to maintain the copy of your data in the distributed manner in the DVCS. So let's have a look over here again. Yeah, so here you can see local version control within your machine. Okay, within your system itself, it is going to maintain the different copies or different versions of your data. Okay, different versions it is going to maintain in your machine itself. Now here centralized version control, where there will be a centralized location where all the code will be available. Like you can see there are two example, Mark and Anna. So in that case, whatever code has been written by Mark, that will be pushed to the centralized repository over here, and whatever code has been written down by Anna, so she will can also be updated over here. But the thing is, they are not maintaining any local copy over here. So here the check is that I have mentioned already. So in that case, you need to be connected first of all will be with your internet. Okay, so you don't have any backup available, so you lost the entire history of your project. Okay, and always you need to connect with the internet. So with the help of that here, like you can see these are the different example: TFS, Team Foundation Server, and SVN. These two type of version control are example of centralized version control system. I hope some of you have heard about a TFES. So TFES and TAFS, okay, these are example of CVCS. Same DVCS that we have is here all the developer are going to maintain local copy in their system as well as in the centralized copy also, which means you can see again Anna and Mark. So Anna is maintaining the copy in their machine, as well as she is maintaining the copy in the, or she can take the copy from the centralized repository as well. That will be your central area. Same Mark. Okay, so here each developer is maintaining a copy locally in their own machine, as well as here they are maintaining in the server also. So over here, okay, they have their own copy, okay, and that where they are maintaining the entire history. So if server become unavailable, still you have a copy of available. So in that case, you are not completely going to be rely, okay, on one piece of code, right? So that will be coming up as a DVCS. Okay, so I hope that will be clear. And the example of distributed version control system is your GitHub, okay, that you are maintaining, or Azure repository. So where you are maintaining the copy and you can access it. Okay, you can maintain the local also. Now let's understand, okay, how what are the difference mode that we have. So CVCS is basically a local copy will be needed. You In the CVCS, okay, you client need to maintain a local copy, okay, and it there will be direct not a needed. Okay, if the server went down, then in that case here you lost the entire connectivity. Okay, so it cannot provide you offline access, you need to connect it with the internet, but here in the DVCS you can access locally also without internet. It is less, it is a slower comparatively. Why? Because every time you are communicating through the server, so you are putting the data in the server, you are taking data from the server, so you're communicating in the server. So that's why here it will be slow comparatively your DVCS. And here if the server went down, then in entire like developer will lose whole code, so in that case developer cannot work. But here in the DVCS, okay, your developer can also work during the local copies if the entire server went down. These are some common examples that we have. Now let's talk about some Git concepts also that we have. So before moving to the Azure repository, how you can configure the code management tool, you should know, okay, how Git will work or what is good Git. So in that case here, the topic we talk about distributed version control system. So right now mostly companies or mostly projects are using this DVCS approach where they are using GitHub, okay, or Bitbucket. Okay, so these different tools we have available, so that they are using. So inside this one, okay, first of all, you have a two concept GitHub, that will be your centralized repository, and Git, that is a tool. So generally you'll see, okay, when you will be applying for the DevOps, so Git is a must. If you're going with the repository also on the Azure, also on that also you should know the Git. So Git is basically a DevOps tool where you're going to do the code management. And I already explained what is the code management, where all the developer can put the code together and can be accessed. Okay, instead of one person, now a tool is going to, or maybe a repository is going to handle all the code and manage the version. Okay, so it's an example of a DVCS. So now if you see this diagram, okay, it will explain that, okay, you do have a different developer. Okay, developer will be in the Java, they are using Java code, they are using a Python code or MySQL code. So you do have a different developer available. And on that basis here, for all the developer, there will be one single centralized location there where they are going to put the code. Okay, so inside this one here you can see if it is a developer one, okay, they are also going to at the end put their code into GitHub. Okay, and here developer 2 also, and then developer 3 also. So for the entire business organization, if you have a particular repository setup on that, all the developer with different project with different languages, okay, we have a particular hierarchy on that you're going to put the code. So it is going to use for tracking the changes, and it is basically for the version control. Okay, as I mentioned, where multiple developer can work together or share their code. Okay, and also it supports non-linear development. Now let's understand, okay, how this Git is going to be work. Okay, what will be the architecture that you have, and on the same time we will understand that, okay, what will be the commands, common commands. So later on when we are going to use it on Azure repository, so you can relate on the same thing. So let me take a new page. So first of all, okay, you have a two thing. Okay, first of all, you have a GitHub, that will be your DVCS central repository. So first of all, you have a GitHub. Okay, so that will be your central repo or remote repo, whatever you say. So it's a repository. Now here, what we need to do is, okay, here we are going to install Git. Okay, so Git is a software. Okay, that is going to be installed in your machine. So Git is a software that will be installed in your machine for all the developer over here. So once you are going to install the Git, and like for example, you have created a folder. So if you see, okay, now consider this is your machine. Like I'm considering this is my machine. Okay, so inside that, when you are going to install Git, okay, so the very first thing is you are going to install Git inside this one. Then once you install the Git, you have set up a folder. Now that folder we are going to configure as a local repository. So to configure that as a local repository, we are going to run one command that is going to be referred as a git init. So what this git init will do, git init is going to configure this folder, okay, within your machine, okay, is going to convert as a local repository. Now after this here, once we are going to configure as a git init, okay, once we are going to run the first command as a git init, now in that case here, it is going to be logically set up a local repository in your area. How it is? So for example, this is the folder that you have configured and run the first command as a git init. Now inside this one, it will be divided into three area. Okay, now here first one is your working directory. Okay, you cannot see physically that the three section will be there, but once you run the git init command inside any folder, okay, to convert that, so in that case here you can see it will be converted as a working directory. Now the another one will be your staging area. Okay, and after that this will be your local repository. So you cannot see physically over there, but yes, here you can see you need to use the command to perform the certain task. Okay, I guess I write it down wrong. Staging, yes. Okay, so this will be a staging area and this will be your local. Okay, so in this case here, first of all, whatever code you have write it down, okay, and you are working on some code, okay, so that is going to be referred as your currently you are in the working directory or working area as of now. Okay, if I'm, for example, I have write it down some code over here. Okay, and in this one I have write it down, for example, 1 to 10 line of code. So that will be your working area, and for example my file name is index.html. So currently I am in the working area. Now after that I am going to run the first command that will move your code from working area to staging area. So I'll add my first command, okay, to move it to the different one. So in that case, let me do this. So another the command which I am going to use it over here is git add. Okay, now git add will move your code from working area to staging area. Now in this case here, your code that you have, it will be moved from here, okay, from your working area to your staging area after git add. So logically it is going to be work. You cannot see the physically, okay, how the functionality are, but yes, with the help of command you can see the status, git status command if you are using. Now once you have in the staging area, you can see it will be a pre-final area where you are going to finalize which file you need to put, like might be in your working directory you could have like 10 different file. So which file you want to put it into the local repository, so you can see it's a pre-final area. Okay, so you can put it down only the part or the code is done that you want to move. So here we are going to put that into the staging area. Then after that, the next command you are going to run to move it. Okay, that will be your git commit. So git commit will move your code. Okay, git commit will move your code from this staging area to local repository, and after that it will be your code will move into the local repository. Now once you reach to the local repository, so in that case now here you are in the final area. So in that case, now you can simply move your code from local repository to central repository with the help of your git push command. Okay. So this git push command we will use. Okay, I guess. Ah. So git push command we are going to use to send the code from local repository to central repository. It means now we are maintaining the copy locally also, and we are maintaining the same copy over here too. Okay, in your central repository. Okay, so the code will move over here too. Now later on, for example, some changes is done by some other developer, so I'm going to take back my code, so I'm going to use git pull in that case. Okay, git pull I'm going to use to take the code back into the local or maybe working area. So I'm going to use git pull. So these are some basic command that you will see, okay, while working in the git that is going to become. And similar way, some other more concept you have, that is basically your branching concept, okay, and then how you can raise the pull request and everything that we are going to see on the Azure DevOps side. So this is the idea about the git. Now we'll see how you can configure the git repository, or you can set up your own Azure repository also in the Azure DevOps. So I hope we are good till this point. So now let's move to your DevOps portal. So I guess like yesterday we have already day one. So these guys have already told you that okay, to move into this dev area. So you need to go to dev.azure.com, set up your organization, okay, and then continue over there. So now I'm going to create one organization and project, and I'm going to configure one repository over here. So let's try. So hopefully it will not ask for authentication. So okay, so first you will create an organization, and then within that we will create one project for the demo purpose. Okay, let this reload. Okay, now you can see we are under the organization, and now we are going. This is my organization name. Now I'm going to create one project. Okay, my laptop is a bit slow. So let me give you who as your laptop. That will be the name I'm giving for project. So this is this time creating for the demo purpose. So just I'm giving the same name. So now we are another project. Okay, so just I go to the dev.azure.com, and I can set up my organization and project. And now you can see in the left panel we have overview, board, repo, pipeline, test plans, and artifact. So I'll talk about the repo over here. Now you can see as I already given you some idea about the commit, what it is, what is push, okay, what is pull request. So now you can relate, okay, what is the meaning of commit. Now commit means we are putting the data into the saving, okay, saving the changes that you can refer as of now, that we are going to be refer as a commit. Now inside this one, if you already have any repository, right, so in that case you can clone it simply. Okay, if you don't have, so in that case here you can add some code. So you want to import any repository, you can add it. Okay, you can import, like if you have already some GitHub repository, you can import it from here. Or maybe you have a, like you want to clone it or from somewhere, you can take it. Or simply you want to add it, okay, you can simply add any repository over here and you can set it up. So here the branch and everything will be created, okay, and then after that you can simply initialize it, and now you will be over here. Now you can see this is a by default one repository is created. That is a blank as of now, nothing is there because I have not provided any detail. It's just a blank where we have added just readme.md5. Now what you want to do is, like for example, here we I told you that okay, we have a branching concept also, and now how this branching concept will work. So generally, as I mentioned, we do have a different developer are available, right? Okay, so in that case you have a developer one who is also working the code, and developer two is also working on the code. So if two developers are working on the same piece of code, it might happen that okay, there will be the changes which is done by the developer two, it will be conflict for developer one. So on those area to do not affect the code that is done by each other or maybe every developer, so instead of putting everything in one single repository directly, we'll follow branching concept, where in the similar way, like you are going to put it down your code into the main branch, but before that, to make sure everything is working and it is not going to impact any other developer code, so we'll create our own branch and we will put everything in our own branch. So you just need to go to the Azure repository under the file, and this is your repository name. You can see this icon, this will be your repository name, and within this repository you can check okay what are the different branches you have. So as of now we have main, that will be your default branch. Okay, whenever you are going to set up any repository, you have a main as a default branch. Now you want to create new, you can click on the new branch and you can give your new branch name. Now here also you can see that okay, new branch will be created based on the main branch. It means whatever data you have in the main branch, that will be considered in this branch as well. But if I'm going to do any changes in this branch, that is not going to affect your main branch. For example, if you see here, I am working similar way, there are another developer also working. So if everyone is going to put their code over here, it will be conflict. So that's why here you have a code available, that will be one. So within this code we will maintain the final code will be in the main branch. Okay, so your final code will be in the main branch over here, but still I am working on some piece of code and some other developer also. So in that case here I can create a branch from a main branch. Okay, and I am pointing out that okay, from main branch to here, it means whatever code you have in the main branch, it will be now in the developer one also. Now if I'm going to make the changes in the developer one branch, in that case it is not going to affect your main branch, it will be affect you over there. Now similar way, if another developer who is also working on this area, so he can also create one branch for his, right? So on that case here, similar way, now this developer 2 is going to work in their own branch. So both the developer are still working on the same piece of code, but they are working individually and they are going to put the final code into their own branch. So it will not affect each other branches over here. So if the developer one over here, okay, want to put the final code in the main branch, this branch need to be merged with the main branch. Okay, because as of now you have code available over here, but if you want to move the code into main branch, you have to merge it first. Similar way, developer 2 also you have, that is going to merge the code. Okay, your it means like here whatever code you have write it down the developer 2 branch, it should also be visible in the main branch. Until or unless you are not going to merge it, you are not able to see the changes in main branch. You can see in your branch, but you cannot see in the main branch. How? So in that case here you can see, you can simply create a branch, like I am going to create developer one branch and I'm simply click on create over here. So you can see based on main branch, it means now this developer one branch will be created for the from the main branch. Or you can see I'm going to set up the development environment. So I'm going to click on create. So now you can see we have a two branches available, main branch and we have a development branch. Similar way I can create another branch also, that will be your prod branch. It means whatever data I'm going to be created, so you want to create this prod branch on top of main branch or on top of dev branch. So I can specify that okay, it should be on the main branch and you can simply click on create. Now here I created two branch, one where I'm going to maintain the development related task, okay, code to be updated, and another will be a production. And now this one will be I'm keeping as a main, that will be the final. So inside this one here, you can see if I have done some changes in the developer one. Like for example, if I have you can perform some options also, like you want to create any folder, you want to create any file. Okay, so you can create simply a new file or new folder. You can click on this three dots and you can upload the file from your local also. Okay, or you can simply create a new file. Like for example, I'm going to create a new file with the name of index.html, or maybe we can say demo.py. Okay, it should be a Python file that we are going to create, and we are writing down a simple code over here. Okay, so now here you can see we are inside the file. A file has been created under your day 2 Azure Repo. Now if you need to write down anything, so in that case here you need to comment first. Okay, just a minute, let me go back. Now here you can see simply you can write down print. For example, we are writing simple code that will be a today's date is 23rd May 2023, right, or 23 May as of now we can put. Okay, now here if I'm going to click on commit, like it means now I'm putting the code, final code. Now on which branch you can define, okay, on which branch also, like in dev, in prod also, but now here for now I'm keeping into the dev branch. Now once you do commit, you can see a new option, create a pull request, will be coming up. Because see here, okay, if you see we have a readme file and this one. So if I'm going to click on repository, you can see we have a two file are available under dev branch, right? But if I go to main branch over here, there is only one file available. There is no demo.py will be available in main branch. Why? Because see here there is no file available. Okay, you can see you updated dev branch just now, but there is no changes in the main branch. So that's why demo.py is not available or is not visible under main branch. Okay, in main branch it is not available, but as I have made the changes in dev branch only, so you can see here it is available. Correct, in dev I can see this demo.py, but not in prod. Now similar way here you can see the history also. Okay, so in the history also you can keep a track who has created, what are the changes has done, so everything you can see. So you can see added, first we have added a readme.md file, then after that we have added demo.py file. But if I go to prod branch now, you can see in the prod this file will not be available. Okay, in prod or in main we have only readme file. Why? Because here we have only created that file under dev branch, not in any other. So if you see the history also for any of the one, here you can see it will show you the history for this added readme.md file that I done at 6:37. But now if I check the history also, as I mentioned, you can keep a track of the changes also. So here you can see I have added just now a new added demo.py file. So on top of that, okay, I want to move this file, okay, that file that I have available in the dev branch, I want to move this file, okay, into main branch also, which means, okay, I want to go, and here readme file is there, no issue in that, but here this demo.py that I have available in the dev branch only, I want to move that file into main branch also. How we can do? So in that case you can simply create a pull request, you can click it over here or you can click it over here also. Okay, anything will work. So here we can click on this create a pull request. Now once you are going to click on a create pull request, it is going to ask you few detail. Okay, it is going to compare, we are going to move from dev to main. It means your source branch will be dev and your target branch will be main branch. Okay, it means you are moving from here to here. Okay, you are merging your code from here to here. So dev will be your source and main will be the target. Now this will be your file, and inside this file you can see what line you have added. You can see one file has been added. You can see plus icon and the green line. It means this is the added area. So one file has been added and this is the line that has been added. And how many commit has done, you can see only one commit has done over here, added demo.py. It means there is not much changes, but yes, one file we have updated. Now you want to give some title that you can give, you want to give some description that also you can give. Apart from that, when you are working into project, in that case here you want to add someone, okay, that to whom you want to notify that okay, yes, we made some changes or something like that. So you can add that person also in the description. Here you can add the reviewer also, because generally what happen is like okay, there are multiple developer and everyone is merging the code, so there could be some conflict. So in that case here we can add some senior person from the team as a reviewer, who is going to review your code before merging the into the production or in the main branch. Why? Because this is something is going to hold the sensitive information, or it is going to impact your project too. So here we can add a optional or required reviewer. You can add your teammates over here, although in my organization I don't have anyone. So here you can see in the optional and on the required reviewer you can add. And on that basis a mail to be sent to this reviewer that you have one pull request that need to be review and approved. And after that only your changes will be merged, or your pull request will be merged to the main branch. Now you want to add some work item, which means like you have some task you created under the Azure boards over here, so you can associate any work item over here also. So on that basis here you can, while raising the pull request itself, who will be the reviewer, they should know okay, this particular code changes has done for what purpose, and you can add the tags also. Now here we can click on create simply. Now here you can see it is going to raise one pull request. Now here itself it will show you no much conflict. Conflict means now here, if I have existing code on that, I have done some changes, maybe the naming convention I changed, or I added some extra line, or updated existing line, okay, or I have modified the existing code. So in that case merge conflict is there. Okay, it means your development or maybe the existing branch code is not same as your final or maybe target branch. So in that case you need to fix the conflict and then you need to merge it. So here you can see we have raised the pull request. Okay, and inside that here you can see you want to add a reviewer. Here also you can add after raising. And inside this you want to see that okay, what are the changes has done. You can go, first of all you can click on this, you can see what are the comments and everything, and in which file it has changed. You can see over here in the pull request itself, we can see this file has been changed. Okay, and this green line, as I told you, what are the updates. You can see like this is my id that I'm using. Okay, that has pushed one commit at this time. So how many commit is done, that also you can see under the commit board. Okay, only one commit. So in the overview you will get all the detail, and you can see this pull request is active and we are moving from dev to main. Now within this also you can keep it tags also, or work item that I shown you. And apart from that you want to add some comment or something. Now if you see in this right panel, we have some other option also, like you want to give approval to someone. Okay, so you can give that approve, okay, that person, like if you are in a senior site, or you need to approve some pull request, you can go over here and you can click on the approve. Or you want to approve with some suggestion that you can do, you want to wait, okay, or you want to reject this pull request, that okay, by mistake you have created, maybe you need to merge it from different branch to different branch, you can reject it. Okay, so there are the different options you have. While you are adding some reviewers, so reviewer need to go over here, and then after that here it need to be approved. Similar way over here, if you go to the complete, here you can see I want to make that as a complete. So this pull request will be marked as a complete. I want to abandon, so in that case it will be dropped. So if I'm going to click on the complete over here, so here you can see there are different type of merge. You have a squash commit, release and fast format, semi-linear merge, and merge. So merge will be non-linear, and here it is going to maintain the all the history for your previous commit. So we'll go with the merge. Okay, and now here you can see as per the graph itself, okay, it is showing that okay, from different branch code will be coming up to the main branch. So you want to commit, you want to customize whenever you are doing a commit. In that case you need to pass some commit message, and also that commit is coming up with one unique commit id, that will be alphanumeric value. So for each commit you have a commit message and you have a commit id to keep a track, okay, when the commit has done and for what purpose. So here you can see you want to complete the associated work item, but we have not associated any work item. You want to delete dev after merging, it means this dev branch that will be your source branch, you want to merge it into the target branch, then it will be deleted once you merge. So as of now we don't want to delete it because we want to validate. So I have unchecked this one, I don't want to delete this one. Then after that you want to customize your commit message, so you can customize it from here also. Now you can simply click on the complete merge. Now once you are going to click on complete merge, your code that has like a new file that we have put it into your dev branch, it will be moved to your main branch, because your source will be the dev one, right? And the target will be the main branch. So once you click on this complete merge, in that case the code will be moved, okay, and merge it into the final one. You can see here it is completed. Now here it is a merge, and then there is no conflict, so that's why it's moved to the straight away. And now I want to validate. Okay, you can see I have to created the pull request and completed the pull request, but I am the person who has created and I am the person who has completed. So that's why generally in the project, the as per the hierarchy, you have a different developer who is going to raise, and then different reviewer or the approver who is going to approve the pull request. So now here you can see I want to validate this also. Like if you want to delete the source branch after merging also, that also you can do. But no need, then in that case here you can see all the details also here. Like you want to revert the changes which you have done, you can take it, disable or save all the comments, or you want to share this pull request, that also you can share it through mail. Now before that I want to check it out that okay, I am moving from dev to main, and I've created one file, okay, demo.py file under the dev, but not in main. But now I raise a pull request. So am I able to access that demo.py, or am I able to see that demo.py into main branch as well? So let's go to file under the repository. And inside that, if I, you can see here I have demo.py 10 minutes ago I have added. But if I go to main branch, because here I have merged it, so you can see demo.py is available over here also. And you want to maintain the history because we have choose a merge. So at that time here we have choose and maintain the history also. You can see here added demo file. So history also is coming up, and inside that if you open, you can see container is also the same. So although I put my file into dev branch, but now initially we were not able to see the same file under the main branch. But when I raise the pull request, after that we are able to merge the code from one branch to another branch. Similar way, if you go into the commit section, you can see that how many commits has done. We have done these number of commits. You can see the push, okay, how many push has been done. So we have raised one pull request, and after that we have done. So you can see who has performed this, what has done. So you can keep a track of everything. Now here you can see what are the different branches we have. So we have three branches as of now. So you can maintain, manage, create, update, delete all the branches. You can click on the new branch and you can create new. But yes, as of now this one, and any branch if you want to delete it, you can delete that branch also from here. So you can maintain your branches also over here, and you want to maintain the tags. So you can maintain the tags also from here. Okay, now after that we are going to see the pull request that we have. So here if you have some active pull requests and everything, you can see here you have different filter, but we have already done one completed one. So that's why here under this one you can see completed pull request can be visible. So inside this one we have seen okay how you can set up. Okay, and one more thing is like I have like the code available in the Azure repository. Now I want to take that code, okay, or maybe I want to clone that. So in that case, if you will go to this clone area, and you can copy this one, and you can simply use the git clone command to clone it locally. That is one thing. Second thing is like okay, you want to clone it through Visual Studio, that also you can do, or you want to download as a zip file, that also you can do. Now after that, here you want to download as a zip, you can click over here and you can download it. And here you can see you want to manage the repository. If you go over here, there is option to the manage repository, and within this you can import a new repository. Within one project you want to create a new repository, you can create new repository also. You can create import a existing repository also, or you can manage the repository also. So in the manage repository you can maintain the policies, you can maintain the securities that you want to be implemented. You can see you want to configure the settings, so you can configure the setting with respective to your repository. You can configure the policies, you can configure the securities over here, okay, or you can create a new repository as well. Now here you can see we have perform some different tasks. So if I summarize, we have understand about the code management, then we move to the version control. We understand what are the version control system, different type of version control system we have. That is a local version control, centralized version control, and distributed version control. Then we talk about what is Git. Okay, and Git is a DVCS. What is the architecture of Git? And after that, how you can configure your repository on the Azure DevOps, and you can create the branches, maintain the files, and then raise the pull request, commit the changes, and also if you want to clone it or you want to import any repository, so that also you can import it from here through the URL. Also, you can import over here, and you want to take it through any TFVS, or from there also you can take it. So these are the different topics or things that we have covered. So I hope you like the session and you understand some basic concept about the Azure repository that you should know. But yes, there are many more. You can set up the more security and policy, disable, enable your repository. Couple of different options you can perform. Yeah, so I'm good from my side. So Lakshit, over to you. Lakshit, if we have some question, then we can take it. I can see in the chat there is not much. So if you have any question, you can drop it out over here, and we are good to conclude. Okay, I guess Sarthak is there.
Yeah, I am there actually. At our place, the weather condition seems to be little bad. That's why I lost my connection. Sorry. And I saw your session, and it was awesome session. Till now, we don't have any doubt. If we have, we'll ping it to you. Thank you for the amazing session of Azure Repos. Students tomorrow will going to start with Azure CI/CD pipeline with how we can start building on the top of it. Thank you, Diksha, for this amazing session. Thanks for coming and thanks for always contributing to the Azure developer community. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sarthak.